Here I will be covering kitchen safety, and joining me today will be our friend Henry. He's going to be our assistant. He'll be assisting us today in a demonstration of safety. Slipping is very dangerous as you can hit your head, causing an injury. A main way to avoid slipping is to always be aware of your surroundings. Make sure there's nothing on the floor, make sure your shoes are tied, and, make sure the floors are clean because a dirty floor may result in a slip. To treat a slip, make sure, if someone did slip, make sure that they have no head injury or any injuries of any kind. If they do, get them to a safe spot so they can make sure they can get to a safe spot so they can gather themselves, and then also call 911 if needed, and make sure they stay still if they do have an injury so they do not hurt themselves further. How injuries can happen from slipping may be from food residue on the floor, puddles of water or any other form of liquids, and or slipping on your own shoes as well. So make sure to clean up any food after you're done in the kitchen floor. Make sure to mop up any form of liquids, and make sure to keep your shoes tied. I will now be covering gas safety and fire safety, as these two are very important and are very dangerous as well. Pilot lights are, they're the main lighters essentially for a stove, and when one goes out, it can be very dangerous. Since my stoves are electric, I can't show you myself, so pictures will be on the screen. So, with that being said, a pilot light is basically how a stove mainly lights, and when one of them can go out, this may be dangerous as they can build up carbon monoxide, and this is a colorless and odorless smell or gas, so you can't smell it, you can't see it, and it can poison you, which is very dangerous. And the main way to treat this, and this is, I would say, the best way to do so, would be to turn off the gas for all your things to make sure that the gas does not come out, and then also call a professional to fix the pilot light. Gas valves are also very dangerous, as a leak or anything like that is highly flammable as well. It can explode or just be overall dangerous, as it can also poison you as well. Do not attempt at repairing them yourself. Just call a professional and let them take care of it. When it comes to fires are easily made in a kitchen, especially if you're using stoves or ovens, anything like that. So make sure any sources of heat that they can produce very high heat are off, and make sure nothing flammable is near them, and make sure to keep the heat at a reasonable amount. But obviously, if a fire happens, what do you do? Luckily, I have 3 ways how to prevent this or snuff out a fire. Speaking of snuffing out fires, the first way is to take another mitt, and let's say it is in a pan of some sort, and you have a lid for the pan. You will snuff it out and keep it there for 10-30 seconds until the fire is out, and you snuffed it. Basically, you're going to remove it from any source of oxygen so it cannot build up the fire, and then you're good. Of course, the second way is using water. Obviously, that's self-explanatory. I don't think I need to explain how water can put out a fire. Now, this way, which I have learned myself, well, not myself because I did it, but I've learned this off some research, is that you can also use something like salt. And it turns out that salt can easily snuff out a fire in a good amount with a large amount of salt as it can, but again, you can snuff out a fire with salt. Obviously, another way is a fire extinguisher, which would be probably the main way that you'd want to take care of it, or water, but that's simple and self-explanatory once again. But remember to stay safe in the kitchen, because obviously it's gotta be safe for you to cook and for everyone else involved. Now I'll be covering what happens if you get a strain or a sprain, or this can also happen in the kitchen, and it actually kind of works in conjunction with slipping, because you may sprain your ankle from slipping, or maybe your wrist trying to catch yourself, a hand, you never know. So when it comes to rice, you may be thinking, are you talking about the food rice, like the one you make? No, it's actually rice, which is an abbreviation for the 4 things, which I'm going to explain now. The R in rice is for rest. which means you're going to avoid using said limb that has been affected by a sprain or a strain from doing anything. So let's say if you sprain your ankle or strain it, you're going to try to avoid as much as you can from walking on that ankle or anything like that. The next one is ice. Ice is the I in rice, obviously, but it's to reduce swelling and anything like that, inflammation, because obviously it helps and also eases the pain a little bit with the cool feeling. And you obviously want to wrap this in a paper towel or a towel to do this. Compression is a bandage, or the C in rice as well, my fault. It is putting a bandage on the afflicted area, and this will also help with keeping it stable, helping it heal, and then also it actually can reduce swelling as well and things like that. The E, the final letter in rice, elevation, is somewhat self-explanatory. Keep the affected area raised to keep it from worsening, keep it from getting any worse, and it will just overall help the process of healing it in conjunction with the rest of what rice stands for. So that is it for rice. Here I'm going to be covering an anaphylactic shock and how to treat it. I'm going to list the 3 things that you want to do if someone does go into anaphylactic shock. 1, have EpiPen on hand, and then what you're going to want to do next, obviously with the EpiPen, you're going to want to lay them down flat on their back, and then you're going to want to stick the EpiPen into their outer thigh to basically make it do its magic, make it do its work. Once that's over, I would suggest, not even suggest, actually, you're going to do this, I think this is actually a good thing to do, is call for medical attention so that they can get professional medical help if they need it. Even if they don't need it, it's better safe than sorry. Here we are doing a julienne, and with juliennes you have to square it off first. Okay, that's a little bit. It's fine. Now you square it off. Obviously I'm doing it pretty bad, but okay. This is more just a demonstration. So what you're gonna do now, I kind of forgot already. I'm gonna cut it thinly. Now first. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna stack it. And then you're going to cut it. You're going to do this. You probably just stop right there. This is a bassinet cut. This one is going to be the thicker one compared to the julienne here. And then what you're going to do is simply just cut it in half after you squared it, and then just literally cut it like that and make thick sticks. Think of it like French fries. So you got the thin ones, and then you got the thick French fries, and that's about it. For these 3, we're going to do small, medium, and large cut, or dice. What you're going to do is this. It's going to be a little weird since these are obviously zucchini and they're not exactly square. There you go, that would be a small dice. Same thing applies here. Right, that would be medium. Obviously, sizes are probably horrible right now, but that's fine. Try to make it make sense. And that would be a large dice. I know it's horrible, but large dice, small dice, medium dice. Start. This is going to be our dry heat method. So we're doing a broil with 2 roasted peppers. So we're gonna set it in, dip, and then we're gonna wait, and we'll do our moist one next. Start. We are currently covering this with plastic wrap, the peppers, and this is a form of moist heat because it's like a steaming instead of it being dry. And but you get the point. Not mad about this part. Here we're having the moist heat So a combination of heat. Yeah. This is going to be a part of our pasta. So, yeah. I'm going to have my mom demonstrate the sharpening because it's dangerous. So, this is how you sharpen with the rod. And obviously you'd want to go at a certain angle so you can get the sharpening right, and you also want to make sure you feel a catch, and you want to do it 5 times per side. Again, my mother is demonstrating how to sharpen a knife with this sharpener. First you start off with the coarse side. You're going to do it at a 90-degree angle a couple times. Then you're going to switch. This is going to be the fine side to polish it. And then again, 90-degree angle, and then last thing you do is you would rinse it, and you have sharpened your knife. Okay, this is going to be our substitute polish dollops, because we don't have polish, we'll clean our knives. And you would basically put one here. I know it's horrible, but I'm gonna take a dry paper towel and you would wipe it in, and then you do the same thing other side, wipe it in, and it would remove any built up membrane that would be on the knife from cutting anything. When it comes to cuts and burns, it's very simple as to how to treat them. Well, it's not simple because you're probably going to be in pain, but this is the point. When it comes to here, a demonstration of my cuts, you're going to take some soap and water. Now you could probably do cold water for this one. We're going to get to this one in a second. You can probably do cold water, just cool water, and what you're going to do is you're going to run it under the water to clean the cut, right? But also, first thing you're going to do is you're actually going to apply pressure to it to stop the bleeding. Then you're going to do this. And after that, you're going to take some soap to disinfect it. And once it's clean, you're going to take antibiotic cream if you need it, but obviously, if you don't have it on hand, it's fine. And then you're going to want to cover it with a Band-Aid to obviously prevent infections and such. When it comes to burns, as you can see here, you not want to apply anything this time, and we're not going to use this either, but this is still going to be used. Now when it comes to this, you're going to want cool water, not cold. You can't use ice either for some reason, but I can't explain science with that one. So you want cool water. You're going to run it under the water for like 20 minutes or so, and after you're done with that, you're going to you're just going to literally throw this on. Pretty much, that's about it. You're gonna run cool water, throw this on after you're done, and that's it. Really. I mean, I could show you how to put on a Band-Aid, but I don't think that's necessary. So, on to the next thing, right? All right. So we have our 4 compartments, right? This is our scraping. This is going to be our washing, rinsing, and sanitization. First thing you're gonna do, obviously, you would have some like a brush for this, but you'd scrape off the debris of the food into this. This is where it all basically stay. Then you take hot water with some soap and you'd wash it first. Then you'd rinse it, and then last thing you're doing, you're putting it in this and sanitizing it, and that's usually with sanitizer and water, and that's it. Okay. We don't use our dishwasher like that, but if we were to use our dishwasher, first off, obviously, you have the compartments. We would just stick this in here. And for the cleaning part, if you zoom in, this will be where you put in our pod, and it's designated for cleaning, and you put the pod in here, and you would just turn on for a regular cycle, close it, and it would run and clean it for us, and that's about it, really, for the dishwasher. What you don't want to do, you don't lift with your back, lift with your legs, and you'll minimize any possibilities for getting hurt. And if you're going to put it down, same thing. So, first things first is with personal hygiene for cooking. First thing you'd want to do is obviously wash your hands, because obviously you don't want to have dirty hands trying to cook your food. Next thing is going to be an apron, and this is what we obviously got from Cave Love ourselves. Those are gloves. These aren't like cooking gloves probably, but for demonstration purposes, you get the point. And then when it comes to shoes, obviously these aren't work shoes or something that you probably wear but it is closed off shoes, so you wear something with closed off shoes so nothing can obviously get on your feet. Apron for nothing get on your clothes. Gloves, obviously, like let's say you're cutting a pepper, you know, you don't want to rub your eyes and then it gets you don't want food residue. So yeah, that's about it with that part.